This is the Limitless Keith Lee.
This is Brody King.
This is Angel Garza.
Will Ospreay.
Hornswoggle.
Pentagon Jr.
The Mexican Rey Fenix.
King Ricochet.
Concrete Rose, Sunny Kiss.
And I'm here to ask you to stop what you're doing, take just one moment, and bask in the glory of the Busted Wide Open.
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 Boston Wide Open.
Busted Wide Open. Thank you.
You're listening to the Busted Wide Open podcast, dropping the elbow on the hottest topics in sports entertainment and the world of professional wrestling. With your hosts, Nick Howell and Sir Ian Dangerous. Coming to you from the Orbital Jigsaw Network Arena in sunny Southern California. Welcome everybody to BWO Live, coming to you from across the Busted Wide Open universe of Twitch, YouTube, and Facebook. This is episode number 336 of Busted Wide Open. My name is Nick Howell.
And I'm going to keep my entrance short because Shawn Michaels' wife said so. I am Sir Ian Dangerous, and welcome to the show. That's right, everybody. We are here to talk about Smackdown, which just went off the air. It was their go-home show for this Sunday's Hell in a Cell, and shockingly enough, we had a Hell in the Cell match on SmackDown.
For the first time ever on network TV.
That's not entirely true, but we'll discuss what exactly that was about, why it happened, and our thoughts. And then we've also got to talk about NXT, which happened earlier this week, the fallout from their pay-per-view on Sunday, Takeover in Your House, as well as a major development over there that, Nick, I am very, very excited to talk about.
I'm still tingling.
I am tingly all over, and my nipples are hard. But speaking of, we got to give our Hell in a Cell pick'ems. I'm very excited for that as well. We got to pick what's going on this Sunday. The whole lot of matches added tonight on SmackDown, so that's going to be part of the show as well. But Nick, how are you feeling? We missed a show this early this week.
We did,
unfortunately. Are you doing okay? You doing any better?
50-50. We'll see how the show goes. Not better, not worse. It is what it is. It's one of those things that you just have to ride it out and let it run its course. So it's at least it's not COVID. Right? That's what I keep telling myself every day. I'm not having to go through that kind of stuff. So thank you guys for all the well wishes. I appreciate the support, and thank you guys for understanding us missing a show Tuesday, excuse me. But yes, we're back. We couldn't miss this because it's Hell in a Cell.
Yes, unfortunately, we are going to be missing our actual recap show for Hell in a Cell Sunday. We apologize in advance for that. That one's on me. That's my fault. I apologize, but we will be back on Tuesday talking about Hell in a Cell and AEW and Monday Night Raw. It's going to be a big show.
Remember back in the day when we just had like one show a week on Thursdays?
Those were the days.
Those were the days.
Oh, Jimmy, stop it. But yeah, Nick, let's do a little business and then get into the show because there's much to discuss.
Yes, guys, linktree.com/BWO. You guys know where to find us by now. Linktree.com/BWO. Go over there, like, share, subscribe, follow, do all the things. It helps. It helps so much. I promise if you guys can like this video on YouTube, share it on Facebook, all kinds of good stuff. It really does help. So all of those things, invite your friends, invite your family, come introduce them to Busted Wide Open. We appreciate all of you. Special shout out to all of our patrons. Thank you guys so much for all of your support every single month. We still owe you guys an episode this month. We'll get that to you forthwith. We'll be getting that to you. And let's see. We got some business over in Twitch already. We got Andy Cyclops throwing in 100 bits. Says, for Ian for Scotland's hard-fought draw against England. I guess, is it Premier League going back on? Is that what it is? Or Champions League?
Euro Cup today.
Oh, Euro Cup. Okay. I don't follow football, soccer.
I think it's Euro Cup.
Yeah.
I know it was England-Scotland today, and I kept track of the score because Irish bar.
Yeah.
I work in an Irish bar. Yeah, so it was a very exciting day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Andy. Kyle resubscribed with a tier 1 sub for 11 months. He's on an 11-month streak. You might be the first one to get to a year next month. That's crazy. But here's a little bit of chicken for you anyway. Thank you very much. He says, and here I thought we weren't having a show. The only thing better than BWO goodness is surprise BWO goodness. Yeah, we never said we weren't having a show tonight. Yeah, it was just Tuesday. I just needed one day. Needed one day. But thank you very much, Kyle, for the resub. Thank you, Andy, for the bits. And without further ado, Ian, we got a bunch of wrestling to go over and a pay-per-view to pick and book and do all that kind of stuff.
Indeed.
So let's head over and talk about what went down on Friday Night Smackdown.
Well, kicking off the show, Rey Mysterio is still mad about what Roman did to Dominic last week when he yeeted him out of the ring like a sack of garbage. F your kids, Rey.
I don't even treat my garbage that badly.
Oh, it was nasty. It was just mean. And Rey wasn't very happy about it. Came out, cut a killer promo, killer angry dad promo on Roman Reigns. How dare you lay hands on my son?
And they started lowering the cell. I'm like, God, damn, we're gonna start the show with this. But no.
Well, yeah, he was the Hell in a Cell was hanging over the ring. So Rey had challenged Roman Reigns to a Hell in a Cell match on Friday Night SmackDown. He said, I can't wait till Sunday. I need you on this show. And Roman came out at the top of the ramp to say, are you out of your goddamn mind? You want to face me in Hell in a Cell, and you want to do it right now? All right. Paul, I tried to be a good dude about this. I tried to, fine. I'm just going to take this. I'm going to take things into my own hands. I will handle this. Later on, Jimmy Uso came up to him and said, hey, man, I haven't been able to talk to Jay all week. Don't know what's going on with him, but I got your back if you need it. And Roman goes, no, I don't need you. I need your brother. We need your brother. Go figure out what's going on with your brother. I got this. And so, yeah, Roman Reigns, Rey Mysterio, Hell in a Cell on SmackDown. This hasn't happened, I don't believe, since Mankind versus Kane went to a no contest in 98 on Raw. We've only ever had two. It has been on network. Well, I guess not network TV. Never on network TV. It has been on TV before. Twice. You had a tornado tag with Steve Austin and Undertaker versus Mankind and Kane. That was technically the second Hell in a Cell match. And then the fourth one was Mankind versus Kane and came to a no contest. So this is only the third ever one on TV.
Why were they making such a big deal about it? Never done before on TV?
On SmackDown, wink, wink. On network TV, wink, wink. Because everything has to, WWE. Everything has to be a first or a big deal or but here's the thing though. They're trying to make it event TV. And if you're going to put a Hell in a Cell on TV, you have to make a big deal out of it, right? There's rumors that USA was pissed that Fox got the Hell in a Cell match, and understandably. But Fox is paying them billions of dollars. Like, you've got to give Fox some love. And the other question here is, why would they not have it on Sunday? This match seems to be built for a Sunday match. Sunday's Father's Day. And this was a match about a father trying to avenge his son against this unstoppable monster in Roman Reigns. And just, spoiler alert, Roman's still unstoppable. He murderized Rey inside the cage. Rey got some early offense with a lot of weapons and whatnot. Roman comes back. Roman Superman punches him, throws him out of the ring into the cage, and then locks in the guillotine, chokes him out, and then the cage raises. He chokes him out again while Jimmy stands there watching. And I guess Jimmy's cool with this kind of brutality now. And that's how we end the show. That was the match. It was not a Hell in a Cell to write home about. It was essentially just a steel cage match with some aggression. It was fine, but they definitely built it up like it was going to be a big, big, big deal. And frankly, in story-wise, it did feel very intense and whatnot. Still, it felt like a network TV cage match, not a Hell in a Cell match. So, Nick, why do you think they moved it from Sunday to today?
I'm wondering if one of the two of them had a Father's Day event thing and they went to Vince and was like, I mean, Roman and Rey are two guys that have enough pull to go to Vince and say, hey, man, family.
The reason those guys have been around as long as they have is they don't do that.
No, that's true. Good point.
Roman. The old closest thing is Roman being like, "Yo, I can't.
Yo, I got leukemia, dude.
Yeah, I can't work right now."
Right. I don't know.
Yeah.
Is it possible that we still get something with them on Sunday?
No, and here's why I say that is because they set up the other Hell in a Cell match on this show, and I think I figured out why they did this. One, it was kind of an underwhelming match. It was never a doubt that Roman was going to, Rey's not beating Roman for the title. No. And here's the thing. At the end of the day, we could think about plot reasons or, anything like that. At the end of the day, it's always going to be follow the money with WWE. Why put this here? And I think their thought was, if we have Roman and Ray, and on the same show we have Drew and Lashley in a cell, this match is going to not feel as special or interesting because it's going to be two very similar men's matches. However, if we put a very different kind of Hell in a Cell match on Hell in a Cell, then it will differentiate them. We've already said this is going to be Hell in a Cell, so we have to do something with this match. What do? Let's make a big event out of it on Friday, make Fox happy, makes a big main event, makes a nice little bit of event TV, and we can do this. We can, still feature this match, make it feel like the biggest it's going to feel.
Yeah.
Because this would have felt small on Sunday, this match.
It would have, yeah.
Even if they expanded on it, it would have felt small on Sunday. So at the end of the day, crazily enough, Nick, I think it was the right decision to have this match on Friday.
I'm not bent out of shape about this one.
Yeah.
I'm bent out of shape about the other one that got made, frankly.
Well, we'll get to that,
Yeah.
but I want to ask you this: with this being on Friday, with this being here, does this demean Hell in a Cell as a concept, or is it just too late for that and it's already that's that bird has flown?
Oh, yeah.
Hell in a Cell is already a gimmick.
5-6 years ago, it's gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, it's even longer than that, you could argue, because we've talked about this plenty. Like, there was a time where Hell in a Cell was considered, oh my God, they're going to Hell in a Cell.
Scary.
Like,
Must
oh
watch.
my God. Now, and then they made a pay-per-view out of it. And then there's 2 or 3 Hell in a Cell matches. And it wasn't about a match stipulation anymore. It was about a pay-per-view, and it turned into booking matches instead of actually having it. And then we had Seth and The Fiend a couple years ago, and it was just, it has just gotten to the point where it's exhausting. And I even made a comment in the Discord tonight during Smackdown where I was like, why did we even have a cell? It wasn't until Roman yeeted Ray, just like he did Dominic last week, into the cell. And it wasn't even into like some of the plushy mesh chain link parts. It was right into the bar, like one of the supporting pieces of the structure. You could see Ray just like kind of bounce right off of it with his little body. And until that point, we didn't even really need the cell. And I didn't know that you could tap out in Hell in a Cell. That was another thing that caught me off guard. Like,
yeah, pinfall submission. Yeah,
sure, but it's Hell in a Cell. Like, do something. Do something.
I'm not mad at a tap out. I'm mad at when the ref calls the match for being too brutal. That shouldn't happen in Hell in a Cell. But a tap out's a submission. That's okay. That's fine. Tap out or submission. It shouldn't be until someone dies. I mean, I know that's kind of the impression we've gotten from, years of watching them get very brutal and, Mankind almost dying in the cage, but it's not to the death.
No.
It's till pinfall or submission. And, there's no submission. There's no rope breaks for the submission. That's about it.
What was the point of the cell in this match, though? It's the constant conundrum with Hell in a Cell the way it is now.
It's the impression of brutality. It's the impression of this is going to be a match where brutal things happen. The structure, it's a deadly looking structure, et cetera, et cetera. But the problem is that it used to be, and this, we talk about this every time Hell in a Cell comes up, but Hell in a Cell used to be something that was held up as being above a cage match, as being above a Falls Count Anywhere or a last man standing match, because it was something that was going to be more brutal. You couldn't escape the cage, even though they've been escaping it since the first ever Hell in a Cell, right? The whole idea is it's a feud ender. It's a career shortener. And that's still what they, promoted as.
None of that was used tonight for Ray
these
Roman.
days it's a glorified cage match at this point. And at least I will say this, my big gripe with cage matches these days they've all just become, exercises in who can escape first and not about put these guys in a cage. Now they have to fight and solve the differences. Now that's what Hell in a Cell's become. When you don't want your opponent to get away, Hell in a Cell. You're in there to beat the crap out of each other. To me, that's what a cage match should be. So in a sense, I like Hell in a Cell as a cage match now. I don't like it as a Hell in a Cell match.
No.
So depending on changing my expectations for it, okay. But then, all the WWE hyperbole about it still rankles because I'm sitting here going, okay, I'm lowering my expectations into it being a great cage match. But WWE still promoting it like it's the end of all time and there's going to be blood and guts, and there's not. So.
But that's what I want it to be.
That's what I think we all want to be, but it's the
It's
PG
the
era, and they're not a blood and
expectation you
guts company.
set 25 years ago.
Well, but that's the problem. They need to start. You can understand why they need to move away from that because you can't throw a dude off the cell every time. You can't have Brock Lesnar bleeding into Undertaker's mouth every time.
It needs to be one of those stipulation B pay-per-views that goes away, and we go back to treating it as a stipulation match only. I don't know why they moved it this year. I don't know what the point of having the pay-per-view other than it's just 2 or 3 Hell in a Cell matches and some other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't dislike a Hell in a Cell match, but I want it to freaking mean something. That's what that's my hang up. It didn't mean anything tonight. You could have just had another match.
I disagree. I think it meant something. It just didn't mean as much as they promoted it to mean. It doesn't have the stature it once had.
No.
It truly just felt like you had a cage match in the main event. It felt like a big deal, but not as big of a deal as they seem to think it is or want to promote that it is.
Yeah.
Which is unfortunate.
Hey, Kyle threw in 100 bits, said Fox wanting something to goose the ratings against the NBA playoffs is my bet. I guess they figured they had to put the Cell up anyway. They might as well, especially when the decision right around it became clear there would be games Friday. Yeah, I don't know.
It's quite possible, too. Again, follow the money.
Yeah.
I don't think this was done for creative reasons. It was done for money reasons.
Yeah.
So that's very likely.
Good point. Thank you, Kyle.
One last thing about Roman, the best storyline in WWE, the Roman and the Usos as the Roman turns. What Jimmy's come to Jesus moment. You think it was earned or too quick, or now there's something going on with Jay? Like, you were the guy who was like, I don't want Jimmy to suddenly become the new Jay. I don't want him to be, browbeaten into this way that Jay was. Do you think that they earned it, or what do you think about how this worked out?
Felt a little lazy.
Really?
Felt a little like where he kind of went, okay, fine. I'll join you, your tribal chief. I acknowledge you. And at the end of the match, he's out there raising his hand. After the last couple of weeks, he's, talking shit to him, basically.
He said, something you said to me, Roman, stuck, and it's about family. And Roman, Nick, I'll agree. I think they could have done more with it. But at the end of the day, for how WWE usually is in terms of just arbitrarily making things happen, I thought this was fine. Roman just, he put the whammy on Jimmy last week. He gave him the gaslighting, gave him the goose eyes.
Yeah.
So
how could you do this to your brother?
Yeah. What a killer line.
Yeah.
And I'll take that. You know what I mean? Like it's not Shakespeare, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I thought it was fine. And then having Jay not be there, and now we're sitting here going, okay, what's up? With Jay, the dynamic continues to shift. So I was like, okay, it seems a little quick, as you say, maybe a little lazy, but come on, man. Compared to some of the lazy stuff they throw on us, this is fine.
This is fine. And if at some point we get Roman as Universal Champion and the Usos as SmackDown Tag Champions all standing there together as the end game,
I know you want that.
I'm good.
Yes.
I'm good.
I know you want that.
Sheppy resubscribed with a tier 1 for 11 months. He also got a little bit of chicken. Thank you very much, Sheppy.
Yes.
11 months. You guys are going to hit 1 year here pretty soon. We're going to start seeing those first magic buckets of chicken with stars on it. Ooh.
With the special sauce.
It's got a little
special sauce bucket.
Little special braiding on it.
Yes.
Kyle Cotter threw in 100 bits, said this royally pissed me off. You do all that work crafting that story and you just take the lazy way out. They did this exact same thing with Jay. At least that gaslight turn was somewhat earned. Yeah. It's not for everybody. I get that. It certainly wasn't the way I would have done it. But yeah.
To me, but here's the thing. This is what I was saying. You were complaining that you were like, oh, I think they're going to do the same thing with Jimmy they did with Jay. And I said, no, he broke Jay's mind. And Jimmy, he just kind of slowly worked on him. And finally he psyched him out, right? He did the force suggestion on him. He gaslit him.
Yeah.
So I do feel like they did. I feel like they earned it. They could have done more. I think they gave me enough.
Yeah.
That we can move forward with this. And I'm like, okay, cool. He brought Jimmy. And Jimmy even said, like, I'm not 100% with everything that you do. It wasn't like Jimmy all of a sudden came in and be like, I acknowledge you, my tribal chief. You the man. Let me kiss your toes. Let me kiss that big toe especially. Now look at that big old yummy toe. I love you, Roman. It wasn't like that. He came
As long
in.
as he stayed away from those tiny nipples.
He couldn't find them.
Right.
You need a road map and some GPS. But again, he didn't just completely go 100% I'm with Roman now. He was like, it's been a week. I've been thinking about what you said. I'm worried about my brother. I can't get in contact with him. It is about family. And Roman's sitting there, the mastermind, like, that's right. I need my brother, not you, the other one. But I guess I need you too. And he's got the whammy going on him. So not the best way, certainly not the worst. I thought this was fine.
Yeah, Jay over in YouTube threw in a $5 super chat. What's up, man? Thank you very much, sir.
Man.
Said Jimmy
Thank
got gaslighted and Jedi mind tricked. I like it personally. So I do see. So I do like this in the sense that it moves the ball forward rather than sitting there kind of spinning its wheels, treading water.
Yes.
When's Jimmy gonna come along? Like it just okay. Let's move forward. I'm fine with that. Jay, thank you very much for the $5, man. Appreciate it.
Exactly. Thank you, brother. In other news on SmackDown, we had a tag team match, including the Intercontinental Champion Apollo Crews
and
his tag team partner. Oh, God. It scares me every time. Yes, that's correct. Commander Aziz has his first ever actual match in a tag team with Apollo Crews against Big E and Big O.
In full dress uniform as well, by the way.
Oh, in his kangaroo jacket the entire time. Are you kidding me? They didn't let the man take off his damn military jacket to work. His little shoulder ropes are flying all over the place. It was so ridiculous. I can't help but just laugh at this point at Apollo, who is at this point I think Apollo's just having fun. Yeah. Like doing this goofy accent, this goofy character.
For once in his career, something has gotten over, right?
Right, yeah, and it's gotten over with Vince. Vince is obviously a fan of it. And his promo before this match where he's like, these nuts, I'm done with them. He's yelling and screaming and like he's going completely to 11 with it. And you know what? Bless him. You can see the sparkle in his eyes with it. And when you see that, you see someone having fun with it. Like as much as this part of it is just so dumb and I hate it. But I love that he's having fun and I love that it's a big goofy gimmick and it's it's working. Yeah. It's entertaining. And Commander Aziz is hilarious. Just in 2021, we have a Commander Aziz in WWE. Dear Christ. On the other side of things, we have, of course, Kevin Owens and Big E, who have mended fences for now. Big E still a little disgruntled that Kevin, of course, joined the New Day and then betrayed them. But it's
bygones.
In the past now. Bygones. Aziz basically dominated Big E for most of the match. There was a weird kind of half-assed babyface comeback, and then Sami Zayn, who was brilliantly on commentary the entire match, so good. Him and Pat together, just yeah. I just want a tape recording of that.
Yeah. And Sami the whole
Zayn,
time yelling over the table. You see, Kevin, I'm right here, Kevin. I'm right here.
Karma's coming, Kevin. Karma's coming.
And then the bit in the back after the match with him looking at the TV with Kalo there, Sami Zayn is operating on a different level right now.
Yeah, I know his character is driving a lot of people nuts, and it's supposed to. Yep. He jukes out Kevin Owens in the middle of the match. Kevin walks back into a Nigerian nail right to the throat and gets pinned 1, 2, 3, and then eats another one after the match. Stumbles back to the back and demands a match with Sami Zayn on Sunday. Gets it from Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville. Okay, another Hell in a Cell match. All right, Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn.
Cell?
No, it's just going to be a straight up match.
Okay.
I mean,
you said another Hell in a Cell match, and I interpreted that as another Cell match.
At the pay-per-view, Hell in a Cell, not in a cell, at the pay-per-view called Hell in a Cell. Got it?
Yes. Okay.
Steiner math. So anyway, Big E, Apollo, he's your Intercontinental Champion. What? We're going to suddenly go to Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens? What's happening? Intercontinental title? Who's going to be challenging for that? Are we going to run back Big E and Apollo again? Or does the winner of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn get a shot at the title? What are they doing?
Don't know.
What do you think is?
I think Kevin Owens is going to beat Sami Zayn, and that's exactly what you just said. Kevin Owens is going to get to challenge for the Intercontinental title.
Again?
Sure.
I mean, we've said like this foursome of guys around the Intercontinental title. Good stuff.
Yep.
Happy with it. But how long before we start seeing too much repetition and things start getting stale? We've already seen too much Big E and Apollo. That feud started off super hot and is now nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's weird. They're having a match on Sunday with no stakes. I mean, it's Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn. It's going to be good.
Yep.
But no stakes.
We'll see.
A little disappointing.
We'll see.
Hopefully they add something. Maybe Apollo comes out to watch the match. I don't know. But it just seems like an odd choice of all the options with these four guys to end up with just a straight up, no stipulations, no stakes match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
Kevin came back to backstage to find Pierce and Sonya Deville, obviously out of breath and, coughing relentlessly.
He wasn't out of breath. His trachea was crushed by the Nigerian nail, Nick.
And somehow got out that he wanted Sami Zayn, and with, like you said, with no stipulation. I was like, well, why didn't you say last man standing? Why didn't you say I want an Iron Man match? Something where you can finally get a hold of him. Like, that would have made a good Hell in a Cell match. Unlike the one we're getting ready to talk about in a few minutes. I don't understand why we're shifting gears over to... I don't have a problem with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn fighting anymore. Fight forever, right? That's their lore. That's going to be their legacy, frankly, of their career, if you ask me. But I just...
Oh, yeah.
But I look at this and I go, well, we've got all of these other things happening at Hell in a Cell already, and here's one that's like primed and ready to go and has meaning behind it, and there's some story that you could tell, and there's potential stipulations. Like, why not have that in a cell?
Right. It's got more meat to it. There's a few matches that have more meat to it.
Yeah.
That actually have like some visceral stuff going on. But this is not. We're not getting it. We're getting. We'll see. Maybe they change it before Sunday.
Maybe.
A lot of stuff is happening very late, apparently, in terms of booking this pay-per-view.
This year, every match at Hell in a Cell is a Hell in a Cell match.
That would be a choice. That would be a choice.
Yeah.
That'd be a choice. The rest of the show was also a lot of choices. We apparently got a King of the Ring match. Shinsuke Nakamura and Baron Corbin have been facing off 4 weeks. And all of a sudden tonight they say, battle for the crown. Whoever wins this match gets to keep that crown and the title of king. Now, this is not unprecedented. Hacksaw Jim Duggan beat Haku in the King of the Ring tournament in '89, I believe. And then Duggan lost that crown and the title to Macho Man, which is when he became Macho King.
Right.
So Macho Man won the title, the title of being king, not at King of the Ring. So it's not like this has never happened before, that the king moniker has changed hands. The crown, if you will, has changed hands. Not the first time. So at least this is not just some random screw it. We don't want to do it. Doing King of the Ring is too much. Just put it on Nakamura. But here's the problem.
I'm not mad at that, to be honest with you.
I'm not mad at Nakamura being king. I feel bad for Baron Corbin because I feel like he just finally got all the rivets dialed in on his king gimmick. Even though he basically for a year and a half, it's been kind of almost there, and he finally dialed it in. And then they're like, okay, you're not king anymore. He's like, oh, crap. What am I going to do now?
Right.
Whereas Nakamura now has a whole thing. He's got Rick Boogs. He's got the crown.
Who knew it would be Bugenhagen that would to be the one to get Nakamura back over with everybody?
Hey, whatever Vince has got to put with him to make him like Nakamura,
it's brilliant. I love it.
It's gonna be a crowd pleaser, that's for sure.
Yep.
And it gives Nakamura something to do. Say, I'm King Nakamura. All right, cool. Give the man something to do. Unfortunately, the match itself was another kind of paint by numbers match between the two of them. But ultimately, Corbin eats a Kinshasa and Nakamura wins completely clean. No Boogs interference. All right, cool. Nakamura goes over. Baron Corbin's crying at the end of the match.
I love that.
And Nakamura's king. All right, cool. Well, that's about all I got to say about that.
He's in the throne. Boogs put the crown on him. I'm the king.
Yeah.
He's yelling, I am the king.
All right, fine.
Love it.
Also fine, Otis has changed his character somewhat. Last week he came out shaven and shorn. glistening like a newborn baby. This week he came out again to try to destroy the other half of Street Profits. Last week he mauled Montez Ford and then beat up both Angelo and Montez after the match. This week it was Angelo himself, who still has a bum shoulder because of the beatdown last week. This match never got started. Chad Gable juked out Angelo outside and Otis just leveled him. And then it was just a beatdown and a 2-on-1 from there. Never even had a match. It was just a murder. Just a murder, including a really nice tag team move they did inside the ring to just finish him off, to finish off Angelo. He sold it great too.
Yeah.
But Otis now has gone from being very kind of big and expressive and fun to silent killer mode. No expression, just very still. Otis is your boy, Nick. I'm dying to know what you think about the new presentation of Otis.
Not mad at it. I don't like that they shaved the beard.
The beard
for obvious reasons.
Yes,
but
at
the same time, I like, murder kill Otis. I like Machine Otis that has the pesky little Chad Gable running around kind of with his joystick remote controlling him in a way, right?
Yeah.
I dig that. I like that vibe for him. I do miss the sweet Otis on the mic. Back, you could harken back to 18 months ago when he was doing the stuff with Mandy Rose. But okay, let's see where it goes, right? I'm kind of all right. I'm kind of let's see where it goes. If it goes somewhere, great. If they do something with it, great. My fear is they're not going to do anything with it, and that man shaved off that glorious beard for no reason.
Well, if today was any indication, it looked like he had, the beard had grown back in the time that he walked down the ring.
That man's not short on testosterone, that's for sure.
No, he's a testy man. But yeah, I'm with you. Skeptically optimistic. Let's see where it goes. I'm a little bit bummed, as you are, that they took something that was really working, and that was Otis's. Like, NXT made Heavy Machinery into a fully functioning working tag team, and everything that worked about that tag team has been systematically dismantled on the main roster.
Yeah,
everything. Like, what the hell? It is a classic example of WWE just absolutely fumbling a ball it's passed and then trying to pick it up off the field and run back with it and, making it harder on themselves. Yeah. But you know what? All right, where they're at now, they have a good look at the end zone. Let's see how far they get.
Yeah, exactly.
Need to do any catching up here, or how we look?
Yeah, Kyle threw in 100 bits, said Boogs could get over doing your taxes with the energy he exudes.
Yeah, always has, man. Wow, who was it? One of our listeners was like, "Oh yeah, I was at a live event. He did like a 15-minute guitar solo, and it was just him in the ring, like with people in there, like doing like air drums and everything." Yeah, like just let the man loose. He can entertain a crowd, and he can shred a guitar. Looking at you, Elias.
Yeah.
So Nick, it's come to that time in the show where we have to discuss something that's apparently bugged you.
Yeah.
Since you watched SmackDown.
Yeah.
Bianca Belair comes to the ring and says, "It was nice to be able to laugh at Bayley last week because nothing puts bullies in their place more than being laughed at." Okay, logic. But she says, but that's, you know what? It's not enough. I need to put Bayley in her place, and there's only one way to do that. Bayley, I challenge you to have our title match on Sunday be inside Hell in a Cell.
Why?
Nani?
Why?
Okay. So out comes Bayley looking very distraught, jumps Bianca in the ring. They beat the crap out of each other. Bayley uses the hair to get an advantage and then ends up standing tall over Bianca, steps on her hair, stands tall over her, and all the screens, for some reason, inexplicably become still images of Bayley holding up the title. Apparently that's her thing now, not Alexa Bliss's. I don't know. WWE logic. Nick, go off. Why is this a problem for you that they're having this match inside Hell in a Cell?
Because it has the least build. It has the least stakes. It just, there's no story to it. It's built around a laughing gimmick, a cackling gimmick, and like what you have Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, tenfold better, will be a tenfold better match, and it has the lore and legacy of Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens wrapped around it.
But also
plus
has
there's
not
the
been
Intercontinental
built
title
much.
wrapped around it.
Well, it could, but again, even Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens doesn't have a whole lot of story. They've never liked each other, and they're just messing with each other again. And Bayley and Bianca don't have much more. Bayley's been supposedly jealous of Bianca ever since WrestleMania. Bianca's saying, I'm not going to give in to bullies, who have, trifled me ever since I was a kid. So I'm going to teach this bully a lesson.
So then this ends up being the token women's Hell in a Cell match.
Right.
Is what you ultimately boil this down to, and that sucks.
Why does that suck?
Because you had Charlotte and Rhea on Raw that has story, that has history, that could be a 2.0 of what they did at WrestleMania last year, and you bungled it. You fumbled the ball.
You don't feel like Charlotte's been in too many Hell in a Cells?
No. Put her in all the Hell in a Cells.
That's a hot take right there.
Yeah.
I think giving both these women a chance to have a Hell in a Cell match is a more exciting prospect because now there's
Bayley was just in one 6 months ago.
Excuse me, Bayley was in one. Thank you. But Bianca has not been in one. So
Bianca just showed up. You know what I mean? 6 months ago.
Right, but I personally think that Bayley versus Bianca in a Hell in a Cell. Well, I'm not going to say it'd be better than Charlotte versus Rhea. That would be a hell of a match too.
I hope to be pleasantly surprised in a couple of nights with that match. I have very low expectations for it though.
Really? I hope to be pleasantly surprised as well.
Kyle threw in 100 bits said the Bianca promo fully turned me against her as a character because of how hollow her words were in the wake of last week's pointing and laughing. Love Bianca the person, but just know you come off as the bully in this story. Also, Rhea and Charlotte deserve the Cell more because of the history there than Bianca and Bayley's non-existent build. Probably my least enjoyable story this year in all of wrestling, and a person who should be an easy, charismatic face you've ruined. Yeah, I'm kind of there with Kyle. That's kind of where I'm at. I don't think that it has earned a Hell in a Cell kind of, and maybe it's my own fault for expecting Hell in a Cell or being programmed to expect Hell in a Cell to be a brutal end game sort of thing. Maybe it's just
we do this every year.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do this every year where we're like, well, there's no build to this match. It's coming out of nowhere. Yeah, but when you have an arbitrary pay-per-view where you have to arbitrarily have a specific type of match, and WWE books last minute, this is going to happen. So, and I also think that, yes, Bianca has come off as a little bullying the bullies in her promos. This one was better. I felt she has a natural charisma. She's a natural sweetness to her that came out here where she felt like she was trying to be more relatable as opposed to just, I'm going to, beat up the bully. Right. So this promo was one of the better ones.
This is one of the matches I'm not looking forward to be honest. We'll see.
Well, another match you have to look forward to is Cesaro versus Seth Rollins because they said that's happening too. Cesaro was having a sit-down interview with Kayla backstage when Seth interrupts and says, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to talk to you man to man. I don't like you. I don't respect you. And on Sunday, I'm going to kick your ass.
Well, all right then.
Oh, we're having a match Sunday now. Okay. Cesaro says, okay, then I'll see you Sunday. And he just pushes Seth over in the little director's chairs. Pushes him over and leaves. Another feud that they kind of built and then let go cold and then are now, they had like the segment last week on Ding Dong Hello where Cesaro ripped his pants off. They didn't even mention that. They showed it in a replay, but they didn't make a gimmick out of it, which I guess is a good thing.
One should never be made fun of for getting depantsed.
Why not?
It just never ends well.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, I don't feel like Cesaro is still mad enough at Seth here. There's not enough
sitting there
between
smiling at him and just
right.
He's not making Seth out to be a threat, and that's half the problem.
He's saying I love wrestling, and this man tried to end my career. But then the guy comes in and he's like, I guess I'll hear you out like a man. Like,
that's not what you would do.
Does not jibe with you, what you just said. You wouldn't just like kind of casually push him over like, ha ha, tee. You tried to end my career. I'm just going to play a little prank on you. Ha 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 ha. Oh, Seth, you little scamp. Here, I'm just going to toss you over in your chair. Ha 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 ha. I'll see you Sunday. You know what I mean? Like this felt more goofy.
Yes.
Than anything.
It's kind of DOA. It's kind of done.
Yeah. Hopefully they'll end up having a good match.
They will.
There's
two brilliant performers. It's going to be a fun match.
That's the thing. The match card on Sunday is a bunch of great performers who will probably go out and put on great matches. But once again, we're here going, man, these builds aren't so great. It's sad that we're doing this again. But that being said, Nick, that means it's time to go give those picks for this Sunday's pay-per-view. So let's do our Hell in a Cell pickup.
Well, the first match we start off with Alexa Bliss versus Shayna Baszler. What do you see going down here, and who do you got?
I don't know what to think here. On Raw, we had Nia say, we never got an explanation for what happened to Shayna. Nia was just like, yeah, she's fine. She's going to see you at the pay-per-view on Sunday. What? What are you talking about?
Well, she
was like afraid of the dark.
Like, how do you know she's going to see her on Sunday?
What is going on? And then at the end of Alexa Bliss is then like weirdly like psychically puppeteering. It was Reginald. It was so I don't know what's going on anymore with it. They jumped a whole fleet of sharks with this Alexa Bliss thing. I know Alexa Bliss is gonna win. Shayna ain't beating Alexa Bliss. Not with what they're doing with her right now.
No.
But that's about it. Aside from that, I have no idea probably some spooky shit that they're going to try and pull off.
She'll mind control Reginald, and Reginald will come in and interfere, and that's my prediction.
Sure, something like that.
They were giving us a little bit of foreshadowing on Raw.
What about Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn?
That's
Who do you have
good.
in that?
I do think Kevin Owens is going to get an Intercontinental title shot, so I'm going to go with Kevin Owens.
I'm going to be strange and go with Sami Zayn. I feel there is some skullduggery that goes on here. I feel like this is just beginning. I feel like there's some interference of some sort, and Sami ends up pulling off the win. Could be wrong. Just a hunch. It's hard to make accurate predictions when WWE gives you no build for something and just throws stuff out there like, just have that match. Okay, what's the purpose of that? What story is that advancing? We have no idea. We just made it up on the spot. Okay, then I don't know who to frickin' pick. So I might as well just flip a coin and make things interesting and pick Sami Zayn, because you know what? Sami Zayn has been good to me in the past when it comes to picking him as an underdog in a match. So I'm going to pick Sami again. What about Cesaro versus Seth Rollins? Another match where kind of came out of nowhere on us. They've been building a feud, but the match itself was like, man, here's a match. What do you think?
I don't know what to think with this one. Like, it's easy when you can tell where they're going with something, but I have no idea where this is going. I don't know. I have no idea what they're trying to get me to believe. What they're trying to convince me is, part of me wants to say Seth wins just to show that he's good, that he's better than Cesaro and he can run around and brag about that. But there's another part of me that Cesaro needs to win in order to maintain relevancy in this feud. I'm gonna pick Cesaro. I don't know why. I don't want to. I want to pick Seth.
I don't know why.
But something in my gut's telling me Cesaro finally needs to get one over on old Seth.
Well, he won at WrestleMania. Cesaro did, and it was a big deal. And that makes me wonder if we're going to have some 50-50 booking and Seth's going to win here. But
haven't we already on all the back and forth on the TV shows?
But that's kind of what I'm thinking, is that, like, Cesaro's back. Now he's going to get his revenge against Seth. But again, they don't always book logically for story. And they might say, well, Seth needs to come out ahead because we want to have another good, strong heel on SmackDown. But it might be a better idea to have Cesaro come out looking strong before we go back to crowds, so that, you've essentially made a new babyface. Here's the thing. If they don't have Cesaro win this, and that's the end of the feud, then that's another start-stop push for Cesaro. You've made him for a hot second and then pulled it right back. There's no real heat on him whatsoever right now.
Matches with Daniel Bryan, matches with Roman Reigns, matches with Seth Rollins, and then...
Sure. And right before you get back to having a crowd who could get behind him and show like how much people really like the guy and want to cheer for him, you pull the rug out. So they've got to have Cesaro.
I used to keep it. I had one of the Cesaro section signs from, I think Andy and I went to one of the shows at Staples. But yeah, we had one of those whenever he was doing that.
And
I love Cesaro. The crowd loves Cesaro.
They could theoretically, They could theoretically have Seth win here through, heel means, and then have the feud continue until Money in the Bank, which will have a crowd, and then have Cesaro go over.
Cesaro win Money in the Bank? I would totally get down with that.
Sure.
Cesaro would make an excellent Money in the Bank holder.
Right. That's not a bad idea either. So, well, maybe not Money in the Bank. Have him win the Seth feud or something, something ascendant, something that makes it feel like a good a feel-good moment for him. I could see them doing that. That is the only way I could see them having Seth win on Sunday and have it be a good idea, or at least an understandable idea. Aside from that, taking Cesaro, absolutely. Yep. Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, not inside Hell in a Cell for the Raw Women's Championship. This is going to be a tough one, man. They traded off humiliating moments on Monday. Rhea won in a match against Asuka. Charlotte lost to Nikki Cross again, got counted out, but then beat up Rhea after her Asuka match. What in the world do you think's happening with this match? Is Charlotte going to become a 15-time champion?
To put this in perspective, Randy Orton is also 14-time champion.
Yeah.
Just damn. Charlotte's already had it 14 times. I'm looking at this going, if Rhea gets hers back after WrestleMania last year against Charlotte, to me, it has to be Rhea. Otherwise, what the hell did you just do having her beat Asuka at WrestleMania? So I'm picking Rhea to retain.
I'm also going to pick Rhea just with the same kind of hopeful optimism, which is maybe not a good idea.
I'm also looking down here, and there's not a lot of...
Hope is a dangerous thing.
We might have another pay-per-view with not a lot of stuff changing.
That's a good point. Unless Charlotte wins here, you got to assume Drew's going to win in the main event because Bayley ain't winning. Bianca Belair versus Bayley.
Bianca.
I think we're both on the same page. Bianca. So Charlotte could win this, and also I think I'm actually going to go back. I'm going to take Charlotte.
Okay.
And here's why: because she did get humiliated again with the Nikki Cross thing, and that makes me think that they're going to give her some sort of win back there. And I would rather be disappointed that I didn't win the pick'ems than disappointed that that I picked Rhea and then Charlotte won, and I didn't get something out of it. I'd rather Charlotte lose and I lose the pick'ems than pick Rhea and have Charlotte win and I get nothing. Charlotte's the champ. Rhea didn't win. Rhea's push is done, and I didn't even win pick'ems. I didn't even get the point for it.
Fair enough.
So I'm taking Charlotte.
Fair enough.
All right. Hashtag Surrey and Dangerous Logic.
Finally, Drew McIntyre, Bobby Lashley for the WWE Championship inside Hell in a Cell.
This is the tough one. Because if Drew loses here, he can never challenge Bobby Lashley for the title again, and you have to wonder who the hell's going to take it off of Lashley in that scenario. But if Drew wins, he's not getting the coronation with the fans. And then it really does feel like Lashley's whole title run was a blip still. Like still doesn't feel like we said he's got to win at WrestleMania because otherwise it will feel like a blip. He's had it for 2 more pay-per-views. And I feel like WWE Vince would be like, cool, you've had a reign. Now no one's going to complain if I take it off of you. Right? And
tell that to Kofi Kingston.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what he did with Kofi. He's like, cool, that's enough. Brock, go pin him. All right, let's get back to my kind of business. The fans had their moment. And I worry that's what he's thinking with Lashley here is, cool, I gave you long enough of a run. You're done. I personally feel Lashley should hold it to SummerSlam or beyond. I feel like the Drew and Bobby thing should end. And Drew should go do something else. I don't care how many William Wallace quotes he wants to throw at me. Do something else.
Okay.
But I don't know that they're going to do that. It's my hope versus what I think WWE will do. What do you have?
Bobby Lashley retains.
Oh, you animal.
Because I think the one that we're going to see really give Roman Reigns a challenge is Drew McIntyre. And I'm wondering how we get this, whether it's the draft this fall or whenever that is. We're going to have to wait for it for a little bit. Maybe Drew takes a break after the last year and a half that he's had. Excuse me. Ugh, you guys can hear that stuff still on me.
I'm a little froggy today too because all my bars are open and I have lost my voice twice this week so far. So I'm very lucky that I'm able to.
I do think Drew Roman is the kind of the pinnacle of what we want to see. At least with as far as a feud with Roman. Can you imagine the build If we draft Drew McIntyre to SmackDown to face Roman Reigns, the build that we have from September till Mania next year, oh man, in front of fans too. And so that's like, it's almost to your point about fans being back. They're coming back for SummerSlam for the first time. And after that, we're a couple of months, maybe 6 weeks removed from the draft, or after that will be the draft. Normally it's in September. And then we get to have Drew come over. That's what I'm speculating. That's where I'm going with this. I think Lashley retains. I think they make a big deal out of it that Drew can never challenge for the WWE title again. I think they've turned MVP into the Godfather 2.0, and that's hitting on several cylinders right now. And I wouldn't want to like scrap all of that. So I do think Lashley retains here, and they're going to make a big deal out of it, and it's going to be even a bigger deal when Drew gets drafted to SmackDown so he can challenge for a world title again. So,
God, I hope you're right. I hope you're right. But I'm picking Drew McIntyre because I'm feeling pessimistic today.
All right.
Yeah. Hashtag
they got to do something to revitalize Drew. He's whatever they've done in the last 2 to 3 months since Mania is a mess.
And I don't think making him the champ's going to do it. I think it'd be a bad idea. But I think that they're going to do it because they added that he can never challenge again stipulation to try and make it a little something more.
Let's see. Kyle throwing 100 bits said, I feel Shayna beats Alexa. That's a hot take. Given how Raw opened, just getting rid of the doll outright, this match feels like they're out on Alexa before fans and reboot her.
She
felt like a control-delete moment on Alexa's spooky stuff.
She gave the doll a timeout. She didn't say the doll was gone. 1, 2, she beat the crap out of Nia Jax. So, yeah. I think she's beating Shayna.
Settle those expectations down, Kyle. That's what I would say.
Come on, man. You're gonna be mad on Sunday. Yeah. Better just assume Alexa's winning, and then if Shayna wins, we can
Shayna's been getting pinned and rolled up for 3 months. Yeah, she ain't beating Alexa. Sorry, man.
Yeah. Sometimes she feels like she's been tied to the whipping post.
Cal Cotton threw in another 100 bits. Thank you, sir. Said Rhea Ripley has to win here. Has to win here. The whole story is about how Rhea is taking advantage of the fact she's under Charlotte's skin. If she loses when she has such a mental advantage, you'd have killed her in the crib.
Yep. I truly hope that I lose these pick'ems because I'm being real pessimistic about WWE Creative.
Wait, did you go back and change it to Shayna?
No. No. No, I'm saying no. Alexa is my pessimistic pick.
Okay.
I'm taking some weird ones here. I'm taking Sami Zayn. I'm taking Charlotte. I'm taking Drew.
Yeah.
So going on
Nick
a limb here,
actually
buddy.
win a non-WrestleMania pick'ems.
Nick might win one.
Holy
That's
smokes.
right. Could be exciting. Well, and if you do, it'll actually be cause for celebration because the right people are winning. You're taking all the hope picks. So, fingers crossed. But Nick, that's not all that we'll be happy about come Tuesday. Because we have to be excited about what happened last Tuesday. It's making me excited for what's coming this coming Tuesday. And that, of course, means we need to go discuss NXT.
Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom.
So before we say what we're doing here, Nick, if you all figured it out, big things happen on NXT at the end, of course, of Takeover in Your House. William Regal was seen crying, leaving the building because things had just gotten too chaotic for him to control. He says it's time for a change, and he came out to the ring at the beginning of the show, tears still streaming down his face, to say he's been there since the beginning of NXT. He's had so many proud moments. He's had so many wonderful moments, but he's never seen it be this bad. He may have lost control of the product. He doesn't see a way that he can continue as a GM. So it's time for him to record scratch. Out comes Karrion Kross to say, "You're pathetic, Regal. I told you I was going to come in and rule this place with chaos. And that's exactly what I've done. I've injected the poison into NXT. And now you can get out of here. Beat it. Retire, old man. Your time is up. Tick-tock." And Regal kind of dejectedly starts to turn away like he's going to leave. The crowd. No, don't leave, Regal. And then, Nick, it happens. Samoa Joe's music kicks. And out comes the Samoan submission machine himself down to the ring to get in the ring, take up a mic, say, Mr. Regal, I know I was a pain in your ass when I was here, but I always afforded you some respect. I don't see these mooks giving you any respect. and Regal says, you know what, Joe, I was going to do this backstage, but we can do this in the ring. I was going to offer you the GM position. And Samoa Joe says, I have to decline. However, I think you're a great GM, but you need a little bit of assistance, an enforcer, if you will. And Regal says, that's an interesting proposition. I will take you on as my enforcer. However, you cannot be a competitor, and you can't lay your hands on anybody. The crowd all goes, oh, and Joe goes, oh, and Cross goes, heh. And then Regal says, unless provoked.
And then he walks right up nose to nose with Cross.
Joe gets a big old grin. Oh, he gets right up on Cross. Gets right up in his face, and he says, get out of my ring. Tick-tock, young champion. And Cross backs down and scuttles away. Nick.
Oh,
did you
all
mark
the
out
hairs
as
on
hard
my
as I
body
did?
were just bing. Yes.
The
This was
badass
electric.
Samoa Joe is
I loved
back.
it.
Jesus Christ. How could you not make money with this guy in the ring on main roster? Triple H just caught it as Vince was tossing him out the door. Triple H just went whoop, caught Samoa Joe and was like, I know what to do with him. Leave him to me. And sure enough, for the rest of the episode, we saw Samoa Joe having Regal's back with all the chaos that was going on over the rest of the show. And my God, Nick, was it entertaining every single time. Close to the end of the show, we saw Johnny Gargano come in and like just be his dorky, goofy self and be like, Joe, I love you, man. Hey, good to have you here. So, hey, let's be funny. Hey, Austin, you're doing a whole Diesel thing. That's really funny. And Joe just laughs along and goes, hey, Johnny, I got a funny thing to tell you. And Johnny goes, oh, yeah, what? He goes, get out. And Johnny, okay. And then he leaves as Pete Dunne comes in, and Pete Dunne and Joe just square up and stare at each other until Regal goes, gentlemen, gentlemen.
That's a match I didn't know I
Pop-
wanted to see, but I want to see it so freaking bad. Please make that happen. The one thing I would have done different was I would have had Joe yell, Regal! from the back before his music hits. I would have lost my shit.
I have a feeling it's coming at some point. It's too good. But probably one of the highlights of the whole show, we cut to the back at one point, and once again, Kyle O'Reilly, Adam Cole are at it again. Cats and dogs. Security holding them both back. Regal's in between them saying, I should have known an unsanctioned match wouldn't be enough to satisfy you two guys. You're going to have another match at Great American Bash, but to blow off some steam, next week you can both pick a competitor of your choice and have a match with them. Okay, now settle down. And they wouldn't settle down. So Joe wades in there as they're fighting, wades in there, grabs Kyle O'Reilly, throws him against the wall, and mad dogs him until he holds still, and then turns around into Adam Cole, who pushes him. And Joe plays this to the camera perfectly, just turns like, I can't believe a son of a bitch just did that. Takes off his jacket, turns back around, wades in, grabs Adam Cole in a coquina clutch, puts him to sleep. Night, little boy. Grown man in the house. Puts him out on the floor and then stands up and goes, I told you what happened. You don't listen. Joe is back. Ladies and gentlemen,
I have some breaking news here, Ian. We're breaking in right now. JB is actually breaking in here to the show.
Oh, my goodness.
She has something she wants to say to everybody. JB, take it away.
So just so you guys know, Samoa Joe called me last night, and he sang me this song. I can be your hero, baby. I can put Adam Cole to sleep. I can kick his ass and make him cry, and then I'll be your hero. and I was like, Samoa Joe, thank you.
All right. Thank you, JB.
Okay. Well, now we know. Apparently, JB, who, as we know, has a complete hatred of Adam Cole, called up Samoa Joe and told him to choke out Adam Cole. Breaking news. JB sicked Samoa Joe on Adam Cole.
Wow. Thank you, JB, for that chime in there. I appreciate it.
I had a feeling that she would enjoy that part of the show. She's, as I said, she hates Adam Cole. So watching him just get choked out to sleep like this must have been entertaining. Okay. Obviously, we're very high on Joe being in NXT. This was rumored before we talked about this on Sunday. What happens if Joe comes into NXT? Nick, now that it's happened, couple of questions.
Yeah.
One, is this the best use of Samoa Joe in WWE? Do you like him being in NXT? Do you like his presentation? Like, are you optimistic? Are you bullish about this? What do you think about Samoa Joe in NXT?
I couldn't be more excited, honestly. NXT has needed some kind of injection of, I don't know, energy, because it's kind of been treading water for the last 6 months or so. And while we've had some fantastic matches mixed in there, we had a great Dusty Classic. MSK came out of nowhere and just has run roughshod over the tag division. There's been some good stuff, but it's kind of just been, okay, what are we doing here, guys? It's, okay, we're just going to keep going back to Karrion Kross, okay. Even the 5-man was a little bit of a, Karrion Kross just kind of murdered everybody. So to have Samoa Joe come back in here, who is a giant enforcer, who is as good on the mic as anybody I may have ever seen in wrestling, and to have him come out along, not to take the GM position that we kind of all expected after the rumors broke earlier in the week, but to have him come out alongside Regal as his personal enforcer, yeah, okay. Yeah, you got my attention. And, if he's provoked, he can get in a ring. So Pete Dunne, Karrion Kross, like, just start lining them up.
He can, but that's the thing, is he's still not cleared. Like, he can choke somebody out, but he can't take a bump, right? So which is, okay, that could be interesting. As you said, he's great on the mic, so we're going to have some great promos from him. And he's one of the most believably tough guys in mainstream wrestling. So,
and he has been for 20 years, right?
Win.
It's like this is a guy that carries and commands respect across the board, across all promotions.
So we did postulate that he might be an enforcer kind of situation where Regal stays at GM, he's the enforcer. We postulated that on Sunday. And I think it is the best option. I put it out there as being the best option because I think Regal's a great GM, and Joe just being his badass right-hand man, and maybe ultimately even taking over the position. Whatever.
Nobody wants to see Regal leave.
No. At least not like have him there somewhat, not go away completely. So I think this is a great option for Joe. It's too bad they couldn't do something like this on the main roster, but then again, it's the main roster. We're kind of used to that. But the other, could Joe have gone to AEW and done something? Could he have gone to Impact and done something? Japan. Or do you feel like he was his whatever's going on with his concussion issues are so bad that he couldn't get cleared? Like, what is your suspicion when it comes to his options? Did Triple H just try to throw a Hail Mary contract at him on his way out, or did he go try to get cleared other places, found out that he couldn't get cleared, and was like, well, screw it, I might as well stay here. I've already got relationships in this business.
I doubt he even scouted. I doubt he even went out and looked.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like there was probably a phone call or a conversation on the day that was like, hey, we got an idea. And because that was just 2 weeks ago, right? It hasn't even been a month yet. So he wouldn't have had time to go out and try to get cleared for other places or any of that kind of stuff. Joe is one of those, I think, once he got to NXT, he found his home. He did all of the indie stuff for a while, and we've seen him everywhere. But I think he's found his home. So the opportunity to stay in a place that's familiar is always the most convenient and fun. And the love that the hardcore NXT fan base has for Samoa Joe is next to none, right? And I think one more thing. He also He also saw Finn come back down to NXT and be really successful, and I think he kind of weighed into that as well. It's different down there in NXT, especially these days. It's different than when he was champion.
That's a good point about Finn. I'll be curious to see how they interact when when Finn comes back. But that being said, supposedly Joe was never supposed to leave NXT. Like when he first came into the company, he was just coming. Like they told him, like, you're not leaving NXT. You're going to be in NXT, and that'll just be your thing. And then he got called up to Maine because he just did so well in NXT. Like they didn't realize how good he was. Like he's been underestimated his entire career. So him kind of coming home to NXT in a way seems somewhat poetic.
Yeah. But
yeah, whatever the reason, I think he landed all 4 feet on the ground, if you will.
Hey, let me catch up real quick. Kyle threw in 100 bits, said the promo game on NXT has been hot fire for 4 straight weeks, and now you add Samoa Joe. Lord have mercy. Business is about to pick up. If ever there was a man who needs to be called up to save their aura, it's Karrion Kross, given the flames he's taking from all sides, and now Samoa Joe. I do hope Joe gets cleared before Kross gets called up, though, but that's unlikely given today's news.
Something that, today's news, I think he's referring to the fact that both Bronson Reed and Karrion Kross worked dark matches at Smackdown tonight.
Yep.
So keep your eyes on that.
And I agree. It's Karrion is tailor-made for the main roster. Send him up ASAP. And please take, as long as Scarlett can still be the valet. That entrance at a pay-per-view, Jesus Christ.
He's tailor-made for Maine, and he's too much for NXT. As we just saw the last pay-per-view, he just, as he put it, he punched a hole in the whole top of the roster.
Yeah.
What's left for him now? You just took out the 5, including Finn.
That was our biggest gripe on Sunday when we were doing our recap was, okay, now what?
Now what? Yeah. Now what you got? Nothing. There's no one.
Something. Cal threw another 100 bits in and said, somehow I knew the first person who would get choked out by Joe in this role was Adam Cole. Some things are just inevitable opposing forces coming together. Yeah. Really good point there. Thank you, Kyle.
Also, Adam Cole's generous that way. Adam Cole's very generous. Well, he doesn't mind looking like an idiot or having his character look like an idiot. You know what I mean? He'll sell for somebody because he's Adam Cole, baby. He'll come back. He'll figure a way out to come back and do something really cool, and we'll all love him again. So, very generous guy.
Sheppy. Old Brad Shepard threw in 100 bits, said Joe is the ultimate tough guy, and this fits his character to a T. Was so worried Regal was going to retire, but I think NXT saved it with this. Yeah, Regal had me going, man. To open the show like that was, no, really? Oh,
they did a great job. Great job of swerving us because they actually when we said what could it be, if it's some what could this announcement be? What could Regal's change be? We ran down the scenarios on Sunday. And they teased every single scenario until they landed on the one.
Oof.
So that well done on their part in terms of creating teasing, playing with our emotions. The entire
was there anything else that happened on this show, or is this all we're going to talk about?
No, that's it. We're done. No, of course not, Nick. There's plenty more. And speaking of toying with our emotions, $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase came out to present the $1 Million Championship to L.A. Knight. And L.A. Knight drove up in his nice car with his cigar stogie hanging out his mouth, walks to the ring where DiBiase's waiting with his briefcase, the $1 Million title. He comes in and he starts off with the whole L.A. Knight shtick, but then he stops, Nick. And he gets real serious, and he drops the wrestling voice entirely, and he says, Ted, I wanted to be you as a kid. We'd always be playing out and back in the sandbox, and I always ended up being the $1 Million Man. And here I am, in this business, you don't really always get to meet your idols, and you definitely don't ever get to share the ring with them very often. And here I am sharing a ring with you and get to carry on your $1 Million Championship. The crowd's chanting, "We want Cameron." And he's just like, "No, guys, I'm having a moment." It was very heartfelt. And he said, "This is the greatest moment of my life, greatest moment of my career. It'd be my honor if you would strap me with that $1 Million Championship." And Ted goes, "Son, honor is mine." He goes and gets the belt, brings it out, drapes it over L.A. Knight's arm. And he says, "Well, you're the $1 Million Champion." And The sparklers go off. They both do the laugh. And then LA Knight's got a little bit more to say. He says, Ted, there's one thing I learned from you. It's about getting everything that I want. Now that I have everything I want, I need to get rid of the things that are holding me back. And he punches Ted in the face. Oh, what? LA Knight turns on Ted DiBiase after getting the $1 million belt and starts beating him down, beats down the security guards, and just keeps kicking him and beating him. Oh, God, LA Knight, no. What are you doing, you sick son of a bitch? Until Cameron Grimes runs out to chase him off and save Ted DiBiase and say, you crossed the line.
You're breaking up real bad, sir.
My goodness. Oh, man. Sports. Passion. This was, you talk about having your emotions played with. Play with my emotions. I was like, wow, LA Knight. No, there's no way. Cameron Grimes in the face here. They wouldn't have a double turn, would they? Nope. Cameron Grimes is now full-on babyface coming to the save $1 million man Ted DiBiase. LA Knight is a dirty rat bastard who beats down an old man. What did you think of all this, Nick?
Loved it. Every single bit of it. Absolutely loved it. Thought it was fantastic. It's exactly what they needed. Both Cameron Grimes and LA Knight both had kind of a heel vibe going there for a while. They were just trying to win the love of one of the other, notorious heels of the business in Ted DiBiase. And you had to do this at some point. And I think this is perfect. It gets Ted out of the way. Cameron Grimes can fight for the honor of Ted DiBiase and, the $1 million championship. And they can have a good feud. And there's story here. Yes, we have stakes. We have story. Yes, move forward. LA Knight, Cameron Grimes. It's going to be good. Finally, LA Knight has something to do.
Exactly. When I picked LA Knight to win on Sunday, and I told you it was a coin flip because I didn't know which way they were going to go. Is LA Knight going to become a heel? Cameron Grimes then chases him, or is Cameron Grimes going to take the $1 million championship? LA Knight chases him with something to do. This is why I picked LA Knight.
Yep.
Is because I didn't realize he was going to go this heelish, but brilliant. Absolutely. Fantastic. Way to just completely define who's who in this. Cameron Grimes is now a full-on babyface. LA Knight's a full-on heel. Brilliant moment of getting some. Absolutely. And now Cameron Grimes can chase that dirty rat bastard, LA Knight, and trying to get that belt back.
Love it. Love the story.
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Also, the main event, the grizzled young vets versus the grizzled old vets. Ciampa and Thatcher versus GYV.
What are they calling him? Grandpa Ciampa or Old Man Ciampa?
Old Man Ciampa and Toothless Timmy.
That's commentary actually calling them that.
Yeah, that's odd.
Okay. That's a choice.
It's a choice. It's a choice. But this match was intense. We knew it was going to be. We knew the Tornado Tag Team rules. No tags, just all chaos. And these guys just went out there and they beat the crap out of each other. Nick, you're a big GYV fan.
Yes.
At the end of this match, like a couple times looked like they were going to win it. If you'd asked me, I would have said GYV needs to win to move forward.
Yes.
But at the end, tap out. They lose. What do you think about Ciampa and Thatcher winning this and going forward with a little more momentum towards the tag team championship? What do you think about this?
Loved the match. Well, I love a good tornado tag match where there's just no tag rules and everything goes. It's kind of like what we see on AEW every week.
Hot fire.
But the wrong team won. I feel like since the Dusty Classic, the Grizzled Young Vets have kind of been getting the shaft.
Agreed.
They should have been the first contenders to go up against MSK and chase for the tag team titles. There's certainly other contenders that could have gone into the mix and have gone into the mix, but I mean, I feel like if there's anybody that's going to take those titles off of MSK, it needs to be Grizzled Young Vets. They shut down their school. They fully moved over here. They committed. They're all in. Like,
Counterpoint. Counterpoint. And
okay.
I'm gonna try and give you some good news here. I think this is a sign that they will be the ones to take the titles off of MSK. I don't think MSK is dropping the titles anytime soon.
No.
I think they're holding on to them for a while. And as a result, GYV should not be their first contenders. They should not be one of the early ones to face them because then they're going to lose. Champion Thatcher can get this win and then go up and lose to MSK. Someone else, Legado de Fantasma tried. I don't know, Brazango or Imperium can then go try their hand. And then ultimately GYV can come back and try. So what would you think about that scenario? And then when they would win then? Would that be better?
Totally.
Wouldn't that would ultimately feel a lot better, I think.
Yeah, make it a big deal. Make it at a takeover, you know?
Right, exactly. Have it be a big deal.
Kyle threw in 100 bits said between Cross trashing Regal and LA Knight beating down Ted DiBiase in one night, NXT probably pulled off the two of the best full heel turns in years. Probably since Ciampa. Johnny's has been pretty good, sure. Two villains that are going to make baby faces look like stars because of the heat they have, those rat bastards.
Cross already was a full-on rat bastard heel, but this was definitely just it was a new low for him, but I wouldn't say that this was a heel turn.
No.
LA Knight was already a heel as well, but this was certainly they hit the afterburners on his heelness because they teased him going face and then just boom, just cranked that sucker to the left and went straight to hell. He went all the way heel here. So why do you think that the tornado tag match wasn't on TakeOver? Ciampa screaming, "This was our TakeOver match." At the end here, why do you think this wasn't on TakeOver?
I don't know. It should have been. It
might have made
the card more busy, but I mean, we had a lot going on Sunday. But I don't know. This was definitely a TakeOver caliber match. I think the only reason it wasn't was because the titles weren't involved. If you'd had the titles involved in this match, holy smokes. Tornado tag match between these two teams for the titles, holy shit.
Sure, but I don't think that I think this could have lived up to everything on the show. The problem is you had the tag championships being used in a 6-man tag.
Right.
Because this was a tornado tag, I feel this would have stood apart. I feel like you could have had 6 matches, had a 3-hour pay-per-view, and it would have been just fine.
I feel like it might have been too much.
Oh, so you don't think it should have been on TakeOver?
No, I don't think it should have been on TakeOver with the titles already being somewhere else. If this had been for the titles, a tornado tag match for the titles, absolutely a TakeOver caliber match.
But without it, it's an NXT main event.
Correct.
All right.
Kyle threw another 100 bits and said, "What are we doing with Grizzled Young Vets at this point? Like we have a tag team division now, but MSK winning the titles has made this division's booking kind of ass backwards. MSK would have been fine chasing the titles and probably should have given some fans are pushing back against them. You are spending too much of Grizzled Young Vets cred, and they are in danger of getting into Imperium territory." And this is the thing that I've argued with strapping MSK at the Dusty Classic. I was, if you guys remember, I was full on Grizzled Young Vets should have won that. Yes, have Grizzled Young Vets MSK in the final, make it a baller match, but you should have strapped Grizzled Young Vets. They were my pick to win the whole thing, and then have MSK chasing. I think that would have been much better.
I actually, and here's the thing, is in hindsight, I do agree. I think that MSK would have been better as a hot babyface team chasing.
Yep.
Doing kind of what Grizzled Young Vets is doing now, only as faces. And then Grizzled Young Vets as strong heel champions. Guys to kind of, MSK would have to build themselves back up. Now it's like Grizzled Young Vets are having to build themselves back up to get back to MSK. And that seems kind of backwards when they're the heels.
Right.
So
and they can't even beat old man Ciampa.
Right. And MSK now feel like they can't even beat old man Ciampa and Toothless Timmy. And MSK now, because we haven't had enough time to learn who they were just kind of jumped into the division so quickly, they feel a little bit bland. You know, they're backstage eating popcorn and Ciampa and Thatcher like walk by them and grab the popcorn, and as they go in, they feel, you know, then they're supposed to feel like goofballs. It's part of their, you know, what makes them fun and cool. But at the same time, they didn't have enough time to have that endear itself with the audience and have the audience get to know what some of their gimmicks are. And get to identify with them before strapping them. And so sometimes that instant success can turn an audience on an act. And I feel like that might be what's happening here, where people just are kind of like, well, all right, you're already winners, so now we're bored.
Yeah.
Everyone loves the chase.
Right.
It's hard to have a face champion.
But I mean, look at it. If they had, and we got to move on, but I mean, if they had strapped Grizzled Young Veterans and just give Zach Gibson a friggin' microphone. Like, I mean, you talk about people that are good with titles, they would have made those titles. I don't think MSK is doing anything with the titles. And I think that's the fundamental problem. That's the fundamental flaw. Yes, is it cool to see them sit around with Beth Phoenix and eat popcorn? Absolutely. It's hilarious. They don't need the titles to do that.
Right.
Right.
They're fun without the titles. They don't feel like champs right now. Agreed. But you know who does feel like a champion? Kushida. Open challenge again. He gets Trey Baxter. Looks like Buddy Murphy got put into a dryer for too long. He's formerly known as Blake Christian. You probably saw him in Impact. You might have seen him for a hot second in New Japan. Saw him out here in PWG a few years ago. Very talented guy. But he got into he seemed a little bit lost a couple times here with Kushida, but still had a pretty good match with him. But the interesting part here was Kyle O'Reilly coming out and scouting Kushida and saying, next week, Regal gave me a match. I'm not coming up for your open challenge. I want you and me to have a match. Nick, when they first signed Kushida, who was my number one person I wanted him to face?
KOR.
KOR. I've only seen this match once before back in New Japan. Here we go again. Yes.
We're getting that for free on a TV match next week?
I'm put it in my eye holes. Put it in all my holes. I don't care. I want this. Can't wait.
Oh, my God.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Give me that.
Can't wait.
Io Shirai made her way back to the ring to say that she's back. Who wants some? Out comes Candice LeRae to say, I want some. You're still a problem for me. You're still interfering in my business, and I don't like it. And as Io Shirai gets distracted by her, from behind, Indy Hartwell comes in to take her out. And as they go to, Indy was about to do a flying elbow drop onto Io Shirai on the announce desk, which I wanted to see. And then Zoe Stark got heel heat with me by preventing that, came out for the save, which, thanks, Zoe. I wanted to see that spot. But Zoe looked awesome here, Nick. She had some tight jeans on and then like a little like black sports bra. She looked like a beast. Chased off Candice and Indy. So it looks like we got a tag team. Io Shirai and Zoe Stark.
Holy shit.
Thoughts?
So much talent. Exuding talent, those two.
Yes.
We've known Io Shirai forever. Zoe Stark, one of the hot up-and-coming blue chippers, is going to be fantastic in NXT. Will be champion at some point, someday. Like, it's these two together in a tag team. Yeah. It feels right.
I mean, between Io Shirai, being very graceful and beautiful in the air, and Zoe Stark just being a monster. Should we call them Beauty and the Beast? Can we start calling them Beauty and the Beast? That tag team?
Beauty and the Beast.
Taylor's oldest time. Zoe Stark, Io Shirai does not rhyme. I'm all for it, man. That sounds like a good time. It's something for the way to do as champions. Hey, new contenders. Love it.
Yep.
Speaking of tag teams, Imperium is back. Marcel Barthel has been on a diet because the dude is shredded. He's always been a little bit like, I hate this term, but it was appropriate, kind of skinny fat, where he was skinny and he was in great shape, but he wasn't shredded. Man is shredded now. He been on the Fabian Eichner diet.
Well, I remember years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, we were looking at Fabian Eichner going, if that dude puts on, he's putting on weight. If he puts on weight, like holy smokes, like that could be a heavyweight contender.
Yeah.
And look at him now. Good God, that dude is jacked.
Yeah, he's looking more and more like a statue, and it's awesome. He looks more threatening that way. It really helps his look.
Yeah.
But they have a match with Breezango because they feel that they are clowns. We must take these clowns out because Walter tells us to. So they have a match with Breezango, and they just manhandle Breezango this entire match. And then they do this awesome like hope spot. What would you even call it? It wasn't an inversion, but it was basically they build up they beat down Fandango for most of this match. Sorry, Fandango for most of this match. Dongo goes for the tag on Breeze. Breeze comes in a hope spot and gets absolutely destroyed by Fabian Eichner. Turned inside out. Eichner tags out. In comes Barthel. And as he goes for a move on Breeze, Breeze suddenly comes to life, schoolboys him 1, 2, 3, and they escape. So you think that Breeze is going to come in hot with a hot tag hope spot and just gets destroyed by Eichner, but then wins the match anyway. Beautiful little like subversion of expectations.
Yep.
Didn't
see that coming.
No, and you know what? There's a lot of words and print that have been spent on roll-ups. Nick, I know you're not a fan. What did you think of this roll-up?
Well, I love this one. I love them when they're used appropriately, and I think this was used appropriately. They're just overdone on the main roster, and they have been for some time. Thank you,
Agreed.
Simon, for counting all last year for us. It was insane. And the fact that we're still doing like DQs and distraction finishes, and he's counting those this year. Anyway, I love a good roll-up when you don't see it coming. And I think that's one of these that I never expected this outcome. And I think that's what makes a roll-up great, is when it really goes against the outcome that you didn't see coming. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. I loved it.
And especially when it's used in this way where, from like the language of wrestling, like we all kind of know, okay, well, they're going to tag out, then this guy's going to come in, he's going to just whoop up on the bad guys. When they subvert that, when they subvert the expectation like this, it's great.
Yeah.
It makes it exciting.
Yep.
It pops us.
It does.
So
I
kudos
loved
to them and how they booked this match. Yeah, agreed. Casey Catanzaro and Caden Carter are back as a tag team. They got whooped up by Le Champion. Wait, that's Chris Jericho.
Wrong show.
La Campeona.
Yeah.
Raquel Gonzalez and Dakota Kai. Lots of fun little tag team moves that Casey and Caden have come up with, but it doesn't really matter because Raquel Gonzalez is Raquel goddamn Gonzalez, and she just was catching them all over the place. This was great because you had two little girls and big ass Raquel hucking them around like sacks of flour, and then ultimately Dakota Kai kicks one of their heads off, kicks Caden's head off. Casey's, I think.
Casey's.
And that gets the pin.
Yeah.
So cool. Champs are strong. They're talking about going for the tag team titles too. They said that Dakota wants gold.
Okay.
Interesting. Yeah, Dakota needed this win, this pin, and she does need gold. Otherwise, she's going to continue to be irrelevant.
Yes.
Not wanting to be irrelevant, Santos Escobar says he's coming for Bronson Reed one-on-one this time. He says, okay, Bronson, you squished me once. You put me through the barricade the second time. All those times, I didn't see you coming. Now, I'm going to see you coming. You're going to see me coming. One-on-one for the North American Championship. I have to have it.
Love it.
Bronson Reed just was up on Smackdown, Nick. Chances your boy Santos gets that North American Championship. What do you think? Odds?
Looking higher.
Looking good.
And I think I said when he dropped the Cruiserweight title, it had reasons. It was because he was either going to go for the North American, or I think you said North American. I was saying NXT Championship.
Yeah, you were thinking big.
And, hey, Karrion was on the show too, man. So doing dark matches too. So
that's true.
So I don't know. It's very much in the lane right now for him to go after Bronson Reed and potentially get that title off of him. But we'll see what happens. I don't expect it to happen anytime soon. But yeah, it is looking like. I mean, is this? Yeah, Santos doing these backstage little vignettes, these little promos. I really dig it. That guy can talk. He is the full package.
Yeah. Mercedes Martinez also cut a promo on Chen Shah. And Frankie Monet was also, they caught her backstage. She started talking to Aaliyah
and Jessica Kamea.
Jessica Kamea from the Robert Stone brand.
Yeah.
And it was like, yeah, doesn't Robert Stone suck? Okay, there's Robert. Okay, bye. And then they were sucking back up to Robert again. That's weird. Frankie trying to start a stable? What's going on with that? Yeah. She's trying to subvert the Robert Stone brand? I don't know.
Let her.
Yeah.
Let her.
Okay.
She knows how to do that stuff.
Her, Jesse, and Aaliyah in like a glam chicks stable.
Okay.
I'm not mad at that at all.
No.
It's like a weird Beverly Hills Charlie's Angels.
Yeah, it's got a Mean Girls kind of vibe to it in a way.
I'm not mad at it at all.
Hey, Cal threw in 100 bits, said anything to make of the fact the rest of Legado wasn't with Santos. That seemed rather unusual for him.
I think it's just because he says I want you one-on-one.
Yeah. It was the one-on-one nature of the North American Championship. I fully expect Raul and Joaquin to be out there for that match.
I don't, actually.
Oh?
I think if Bronson's going to lay down for him, we don't see Legado out there. I think Santos is going to win, look strong. He's going to Bronson put him over on the way out.
Okay.
If that's what happens. So we'll see. I mean, it would be very heelish of him to have the two boys out there, but we shall see.
Yeah.
But a damn good NXT overall. Even without Samoa Joe, we had a bunch of great matches. The women's tag match was great. The Kushida match was fine. It was nice seeing Trey Baxter get some reps in there. Imperium Breezango was fun, like we said, with the great finish. And of course, the Tornado tag was just insanity. So a very strong NXT, made even better by the arrival of Samoa Joe. Awesome. But Nick, that is it for the Graps this week, which leaves us only one thing left to do, a little segment we like to call our moment of positivity.
Mop, 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 mop.
The mop, the moment of positivity. That's right. It's the time on the show where we look back on the last few days of wrestling and try to find something positive to talk about, something that made us smile, something that made us happy, something that we can relate to all of you out there so that you can go back into the world with a smile on your face as well. We don't leave this show on a down note. We leave it on an up note. Nick, what was your moment of positivity for this show?
Can we just agree that both of our moment of positivities are going to be Samoa Joe coming in this week? Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll throw one out there that's different.
Pick a moment. Which no. Say, if you want to do, you can't just do Samoa Joe. What specific Samoa Joe moment was yours? Unless you want to pick something else entirely.
When he got right in Karrion Kross's face when Regal said unless provoked.
The unless provoked moment.
Yes.
And Joe just kind of straightens up a little bit and walks up into Karrion Kross.
Puffs his chest out a little bit and gets right up in his face. Yes. I kind of went. What about you, Sir Idris?
I gotta go with JB here. It's gotta be him walking into a sea of security guards and just plucking Kyle O'Reilly out, slamming against a wall, and just mad dogging him until Kyle kind of calms down a little bit, and then turning around, Adam Cole pushing him, and him just going, I know you didn't just touch me, and taking off his jacket and just locking on to Adam Cole.
Good old
like
coquina
a polar
clutch.
bear. Just putting him out in 2 seconds. even doing the breathing too. I was cackling. I was on my feet. I was applauding. It was awesome. Gotta be Samoa Joe regulating.
There's
backstage.
a new sheriff in town in NXT.
Oh my goodness! Look out, Sheriff McDonald! Someone coming for your hat. Yeah, Joe regulating backstage is absolutely my moment of positivity for this week. Just there's nothing even close to how hard I marked out for him putting Adam Cole to sleep. Yeah. Night, little boy.
Night.
Good night. Night.
Well, there you go, guys. There is our show. Again, AEW is on tonight, so we'll be picking that up on Tuesday, but not before we have Hell in a Cell on Sunday. We will have a dedicated chat channel going for everybody to chat in the Discord, so make sure if you're not in there yet, you get into Discord. I'll throw a link to it in the chat right now for everybody. So we'll make sure we're there for the live chat while we're watching the show. Sir Ian Dangerous will be not there. So we will not, unfortunately, be doing a recap show on Sunday. We'll catch up on that on Tuesday as well. Again, apologies for missing Tuesday this week, but I hope you guys can hear that I'm starting to get a little bit better. Get there.
Your energy's back, yeah.
But I'm still coffee, and I know that's annoying for people to listen to, but
that's okay. It's because you got metal.
It's
in your lung.
It's not. No,
Nick.
No. Linktree.com/BWO is where you find all the links to all of the things. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, follow, share with all your friends and family about what come join us here at Busted Wide Open. It really does help. Thank you very much, guys, for all the likes, all the love, all the subscribes, all the follows. It really makes a difference. But linktree.com/BWO to find the links to all of those things. Shout out to all the patrons. Thank you guys for your patronage. Shout out to everybody on Twitch for all the bits and subs. Shout out to everybody over on YouTube. What's up, guys? We see you over there. And Facebook, too. We see you guys. Thanks for watching with us. Thank you for joining us. Mm-hmm. We'll see you guys on Sunday for Hell in a Cell. But until then, my name is Nick Howell. You can find me on Twitter at DataCenterDude.
And I am Sir Ian Dangerous. You can find me on Twitter at Sir Ian Dangerous.
But by God!
Would somebody stop the damn match?
This show is part of the Orbital Jigsaw Network. For more episodes, subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, or Stitcher Radio. For details and show notes from each episode, check us out, orbitaljigsaw.com.